winning a sole source award. Like my company, thanks to the guidance from the mentorship and thanks to being in the vicinity with Fox Wade, my company won a sole source award. So it's like, oh my God, like
Hey, thank you so much for agreeing to meet with me. It's been a journey being your GovCon mentor over the past year and watching how you've come in with an open and full heart and paying attention, taking all the instructions to now you won how many contracts now?
I got two of them so far.
Two government contracts with some good returns, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely.
So what made you want to get into the government contracting space?
Well, I burned the boats, Fox. And when I say I burned the boats, I got into healthcare. I've been in healthcare for over 20 years. I started off as a first responder serving the community. Then I got my doctorate degree in medicine. But I always knew that I wanted to have my own business. I always knew that I wanted to give back at scale. And I wanted to help more than one person at a time in an emergency room. And one of the avenues that I found was the internet. Then after the internet, I was like, another way to give back is to give back to the country that gave me so much. And I found government contracting. I hopped on the GovCon Blueprint mentorship, and it's been a life-changing experience thus far.
Take me through the process. Like how did you get from, coming into GovCon Blueprint to, going after opportunities and then finally landing your first one?
Yeah, so the first step was finding a mentor that I resonate with. The first step to finding results in the area of life that you want is to get someone who's been there, done that. And obviously, Fox Wade has been there, done that, but not only in the government sector, but in all areas of life. He's like a stud, as we like to call. So whether his pre-military career to his government contracting career and his goals moving forward to buy the Atlanta Hawks, to me, I resonate with it. Plus, my brother was a prisoner of war who was killed in action. He was based out of Fort Drum. He was an infantryman, 10th Mountain Infantry. And when I meet men and women that were in the United States Army or the United States military, I gravitate towards them even more. So I was like, hey, this is a no-brainer. And I went ahead and joined Fox's or your mentorship. And about 3 months later, I won my first contract. But before winning that contract, we basically got the recipe for success. Like, hey, look, this is the proposal blueprint. This is the template for that. This is the template for emails. This is a template for, like, I hear about people that pursue government contracting without mentorship, without these templates, and they got to bid for years, or sometimes they quit because they're not getting the results they want. In my case, within 3 months of joining the mentorship, I won the first contract, and now we won the next one. And a funny thing is, one of the comments or one of the key words that we hear, besides purchase order, right? Business owners love the word purchase order. I got that twice already, but Fox gave me a lot of good. May I share it, Fox? Like some of the tips?
Maybe-ish, you know.
Well,
Um,
basically,
I'm I'm very humbled that you've given me all your flowers. I mean, that you've given me all the flowers for your success, but I don't want to make this about me. I want to make this about you, right? So
right.
tell me about this. So you got the first contract last year, right? Tell us about that contract, like the period of performance. What was your takeaway profit? Far as like you don't have to say the specific number, but far as a percentage go. But I remember it was pretty large out there. But yeah, take us through that.
Yeah, so basically, we won the contract, we submitted the proposal, we did everything we could. We even gave suggestions on what could be improved upon. The point of contact and the contracting officer was receptive to it. We won the contract with a 97% profit margin on it. And after winning the contract, we did less than, the place of performance was at the location or the surrounding area for the client, and it was literally less than 16 hours worth of work
And you
for.
self-perform, right?
Yeah, we did do the work. Yeah.
Yeah, you self-perform, so you didn't even have to sub it out to anyone, right? Because,
No,
it was something that you was a subject matter expert in, so instead of you subbing it and trying to get a percentage off of that, you just kept the whole pizza, to yourself, which, how long did it take, after delivery, how long did it take them to pay you?
less than 4 weeks. Less than 4 weeks.
Okay.
So did we
So
got
net
we got
30.
yep, we got paid before executing the work, and then we got paid the remaining balance before the net 30.
Oh, so they gave you some money before you even started.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow, now that's awesome right there. So you didn't even have to dig into no lines of credit. You didn't have to get a loan. You didn't have to use no,
Oh.
like you literally got money to perform before the kickoff of the deliverable.
And
Wow.
and
Okay.
Fox, I mean, it was my first award, so you know the feeling. You're just like, oh my God, I needed this. I called Fox like, hey Fox, I feel like I got some oxygen now. Like I could breathe now. So yeah, it was definitely a breath of fresh air, literally and figuratively, to have that hit the bank account, because it made things a lot easier.
So what were you doing prior to jumping into the government contracting space?
So, online, I've been able to reach over 8 million people worldwide. So I have online presence. And then I also was working a blue collar job, basically working in the streets of New York City, in the Bronx to be exact, on an ambulance. Before becoming a medical doctor, I was an EMT paramedic. Now, after graduating as a doctor, as I continue to build my business, I decided not to work in the hospital, and I'm still working on the ambulance. But, for the last 8 weeks, I've probably picked up 1 to 2 shifts, because at this point now, I'm slowly phasing myself out of my 9 to 5 job, which was actually working overnights on Saturday nights in this city of New York, where now the mayor is like, hey, first responders, especially paramedics, should have bulletproof vests, because the streets aren't all that safe.
That's
um and they should go into, yeah, it's like Gotham City out here. So I'm slowly phasing myself out of working on the ambulance, and that's what I was doing. I was working on the ambulance, and then through my social media presence, I was helping people becoming more resilient on a one-on-one basis.
okay.
Yeah.
So you gotta so the second contract, we talking about sole source, right? You rarely hear anybody receiving a sole source award, but you've worked the plan to where you got some work sole source, right? And it's a six-figure contract, right?
Yes, sir.
So you got a six-figure contract. And now is this the same work you were doing on the first contract?
Yes, sir.
So you didn't just quadruple the first one, and now the second one, we like six figures, and it's the same amount of work. So you don't even have to sub the work out anymore. You can self-perform on this one as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about that one.
Well, I mean, first I was jealous. When I saw it come up on sam.gov, I'm like, nah, man, don't put this out to people, don't entertain people to come and start hating. But kind of, because what happens, in case you guys don't know, if there's a sole source award, they're like, hey, we're gonna sole source it to them if no one else comes up. So I was just like, oh, I hope nobody emails them to draw out the process even more. So that's why I was a little bit jealous, just to explain it in context. But one of the things I've been doing was, I'm considering it. One of the things Fox told me, I'm considering it like a long-term relationship. So the way I see it is, how do the decisions, and this is something Fox taught me, how do the decisions I make now affect me 5 to 10 years from now down the road? So instead of keeping all that money, I'm hiring local help. I'm stimulating the local economy. I'm also creating opportunities for other people to come and really, really make it so that this is a wonderful experience for everybody involved, especially the end user. So instead of like pocketing all the money, I'm making sure that I create an experience for everybody that's involved.
So what I heard is that you're taking this six-figure contract, this opportunity, and you're going to tithe it to the local economy by creating jobs, by creating opportunities for that area because your customer, I mean, they have the budget and they got the funds, and you're just going to take some of these contracts you're being awarded, and instead of keeping 100% of the profit or whatever you build, you're like, listen, I can build off of this and create something really good to where that customer is going to always come to me because not only are we delivering, but we're also stimulating the local economy. I love it.
Yeah, I love I love like I feel very fortunate to be a part of everything that's going on because it's like a win-win for everybody. You know what I mean? Everybody wins, and it's through your vehicle that you've created. So one of the things that Fox mentioned on one of our calls was like, "Hey, how many jobs are you creating?" You know, like what is your impact from your company? And one of the things that stood out to me the most was giving back, paying the blessings forward, and creating jobs and putting food on people's tables through the stuff that we have going on. It's a win-win situation, and there's almost no way that you cannot win because you're doing so good for humanity. It's like karma, God or whatever it is you believe in will conspire on your behalf because what you're doing is such a good thing for everybody, and it's a blessing to be a part of it for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I love it.
how many opportunities have you chased?
I,
Excuse me.
I I've submitted about 20, I would say maybe a dozen to 20 or to 2 dozen proposals.
Okay. But these are
And
like the
that
small, these are not like 25 pages long. This is like a couple pages long,
yeah,
for what you do.
yeah, that would include sources sought and then proposals as
Okay.
well. Yeah, that would include sources sought and proposals as well. Usually my proposals are less than 30 pages.
So let's separate the two, right? Source of salt is typically like, hey, we see that you have a need. We're a company out there. It's not an active solicitation, but from a solicitation where you're doing a full-blown proposal, your pricing, past performance, and all that, on record, how many you think you submitted?
Probably about 20.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So out of the 20, you've won two. And that's really a really good return. So that's a 10% of what you put into the, and that's like almost industry normal or norms is when you put that in. And plus you're not going after like, oh, there's a lawn care. Let me go find a subcontractor and add on my percentage. You're actually swimming in the pool that you know best, right?
Yeah.
Which you're like, no, I'm the subject matter expert in this area. They have a need. I know I can do it. So now you're building your foundation off of, what you went to school for, what you know best.
Yeah, I tend to gravitate towards things that are low risk. And if I know, like for example, one of my business partners has a warehouse in Oregon that's 62,000 square feet. So if I'm on SAM.gov already, I'm like, yeah, let me see if the army needs like a airplane hangar or something. And then that way I could work with my business partner on other things while being able to provide value to the government. So what I'm trying to say is like, I don't really do the middleman stuff, and shout out to everybody who does. If that works for you, then who am I to talk about it, right? But as far as I'm concerned, I like to do things because what am I gonna do? Like if a plumbing company or construction company halfway through the job is like, "Yo, you know what? We're not doing this no more." I'm not a plumber, you
Oh
know?
man, and I'm so glad you brought that up because that happens a lot, right? You hire somebody, they don't really do what they're supposed to do, and you're trying to explain to the best of your knowledge, but you don't know that industry. And so you're right, that is low risk when you know the industry. And also you can take, what you've already won and what you've accumulated and just copy, rinse, and repeat and do it across several different agencies in the government.
Yeah, that's something that we're definitely looking forward to. Actually, before this call, I was speaking with my team, And it feels good to say that, I'm not gonna lie. We're basically like, putting out the standard operating procedures and just thinking about that rinse and repeat formula of pushing this out. Because it's life-changing stuff. Like we're talking about funds and six figures and 97% profit margin. But the work I'm doing, it's changing people's lives because I'm a doctor. So everything I do has to do with health. And I'm literally teaching people how to be healthier without having to rely on the things that are available that fix one thing and mess up the next, right? So to be able to bring it to the masses is something that I look forward to because um because of personal reasons. We all have our own reasons to go ahead and pursue things, and one of them for me is, I went through a lot, and my past is very different from my present, and now that I'm getting to live this existence, I just want to help other people feel the same thing.
And you're just in year one, like you're just getting started. Like you're in year one
Right.
and you already talking about my team.
Yes, sir.
And I remember, when we first met, you seemed to have a lot of pressure on you, but now you seem to be kind of coasting and you're smiling and
Yep.
laughing and
Yep.
so that's a beautiful story right there to go from that. And you're flipping your degree.
Yep.
You're flipping that doctoral degree to say, nah, I don't need to stay over here. I can use my degree to create a company. And now, I'm on track to where I can do 2, 5, $10 million a year and doing the thing that I know best.
Yeah, man. And it all started with mentorship. I feel that the best way to show somebody love and appreciation is through results. So, like if you really love your mom, then become a beast. If you really love your kids, then become a beast. And one of the things I feel is the urgency to perform from my mentors, and Fox doesn't want the accolades, but I'm like, oh man, it feels good to be like, hey, you know, um, I'm part of this person's success story. So that's another thing that I feel is due, where it's kind of like when we perform, it's not only for us, it's for like the ripple effect of everyone who gets the benefit from it, whether it's our kids, our business partners, or our future mentees, or our previous mentees. And, the government contracting is just one of those vehicles where it's undeniable. For 2024, the government had a budget for $6.9 trillion.
It's a lot of money, right?
So it's like, you know, it's a good sector and a great sector to entertain, you know.
So if you could leave, if someone walked up to you right now and said, "Hey, I want to get into government contracting." Let's say you don't even know me. I don't exist, right? But this is something that you decide to pursue on your own and you're building out your company, your team, winning new sole source opportunities, going after, new ops out there to build your company up. What advice would you give people? In 60 seconds, what advice would you give people that are out there watching this right now about government contracting?
I say do it because of the simple fact that by getting prepared to work with the United States government, it'll prepare you for the corporate sector as well. So you're basically preparing yourself, you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's, and it's going to make everything else down the line from it a lot easier, especially when you approach people and let them know that you're working with the government. It sets you apart. And another thing is understand that people that are further along than you, it's only because they started before you did. So there's just a matter of time when you will get the same results if you apply a similar method that they did. So if you don't win your first contract, if you don't win the second one, and these proposals you're submitting and submitting, if you don't have a mentor, then definitely get a mentor to expedite your results in the favor that you want. And understand that eventually it just turns into a numbers game. You submit enough, and you will win a contract, and hopefully is something within something that you can fulfill, and it's just a matter of time. Similar to what's happened to me and countless others before me.
Okay. Now, one of my biggest things is that, and you've hit on a lot of great things about, like, just, and you didn't say this word, but whoever's watching this, you got to have focus too, right? Slow down, have focus, you know, read the instructions, and next thing you know, boom, you've won, you put your budget together. Um, if someone is out there struggling right now with responding to an opportunity, what is an emotional intelligence thing in 15 seconds? What is something that in less than 15 seconds that you can tell the viewers out there that they can overcome when they're looking at an opportunity? Like, what is something that you use that allow for you to push forward through the proposal writing process?
Well, one of the things is you're the subject matter expert. You know about it more than than the contracting officer. So most likely you're able to provide more value, or think there's things that we're forgetting as subject matter experts that they don't even know about. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, what else are you gonna do? Like, go back to your job and wait till you're 80 years old to retire, and then after that get a job at McDonald's cleaning up? Because like it's like, literally, what else are you gonna do? Like, it's just simple as that. Like a doctor, in my case, right? A doctor gets paid $180 an hour, and shout outs to them. If somebody got to do it, but you know, um, I dare to say that my ambitions are calling for more. So in my case, I ask myself that question: like, if I don't submit these proposals, if I don't go for these grants, and that's another thing, right? Grants and stuff like that. But what else am I gonna do?
Well, Dr. Reynolds, I want to say thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. This has been amazing to watch you grow over the past year, and coming in with a heavy, with open eyes and an open heart, and saying, "Hey, I'm going to learn." And you did everything to be able to get to that point to where you was like, "I got my first contract. Oh, I'm gonna go perform on it." And you did extremely well by providing that customer service to where they said, "You know what? We want to bring you in for a second contract." And you hit it out the park because you had it so sourced, right? You got that purchase order. I'm pretty sure you had shed a little tear a little bit. You like, let's get to work. So I want to say super congratulations. I look forward to seeing, what year two looks like for you when you're talking about not just my team, but you're talking about the organization. And,
Yeah.
just remember to invite me to the company functions when you do get big. All right. Don't leave your boy Fox Wade out on those. So I'm
I
super
got you,
proud
sir.
of you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that so much. And it's
Super
only
proud
up
of
from
you.
here. It's only up from here. And to everybody watching, it's our turn, baby. Just claim your spot. It's our turn. You just got to make it happen. It's there for the taking.
That's it. That's it. All right. Appreciate you for stopping by. Have a good one. Take care. Peace.